Welcome to Rauta and Steelchaos 2019. This time we have some Polish talent, Blaze of Perdition. Guys, please introduce yourselves. You played here last night, but who are you exactly? Please.
Okay, I'm Martin. I'm the guitar player for the band. This is Lucas.
I'm Lucas. I'm the guitar player and founder of the band. Hi.
You are not that known band here in Finland, but you are big enough, or can we say mainstream enough, to have made it all the way to Metal Blade Records. What's the story of this Polish talent? You come from nothing and suddenly you are on a big label doing great black metal.
I don't know what's of the reason this situation, because we received the mail from the Metal Blade, guys, you have a great stuff and we would like to release you. And we have something like a brainstorm in the band and try to change decision, because we had the possibility to stay in Agonia Records and many others deal from other labels. But we thought that it will be a good step, and we decided to sign the contract with Metal Blade. But I don't know the reason. It was a total surprise for us.
What is... Okay, please.
Yeah, and probably you can tell something how the story began, because I've been playing with the band for 3 years, but there is much more history behind it. So
how the band started?
Okay. So not a problem. I starting from the not beginning, but from the end of the story. But about beginning, we starting in 2007 probably, because first we named the Perdition, but the Perdition changed to the Blaze of Perdition. And first we starting incorporate with my friend who play to the library or something like that, because it doesn't a serious label, because the intention of label, it's named the Prophet, so it was a collaboration in group of the group of friends, and it was the story of first album, which was total not promoted. Second album we releasing in the Polish label Pagan Records, but this label is famous only in Poland, so we had a good promotion in our country, but from other place, I think it's not very big promotion, and very important moments in our history was the moment when we start collaboration with Agonia Records, because Agonia Records is the Polish label, but have a big...
It's quite a good label with many good bands.
Yeah, of course, and the label they have a big net of promotion on the world, and in this moment we starting probably serious. I don't like the word like a career, but probably it will be the best, It was at the moment when we starting to be on the world, And the metal label was next step for us.
How did you end up doing black metal? Why, of all the genres in the world, the world is filled with different kind of music, why did you choose black metal, or did black metal choose you?
Okay, first, I think today we not play the black metal. We play the metal music with big roots of black metal, and black metal still is important elements of our music. But today, the formula of Blaze of Perdition is more open. We have influence from many other genres of music, like post-punk, old gothic rock music. I think, of course, about bands like Fits of the Nephilim, not Lacrimosa. And about lyrics, it's not typical black metal lyrics. It's more personal jams. We think about matters of psychology, philosophy, and other stuff. So I think that we have the roots in black metal. On the stage of two first albums, it was serious and it was a satanic music and with extreme lyrics, and we are something like a tools in the hands of Satans. Maybe it sounds a little childish, but we believe it for it. Yeah, in this moments. Today we are the absolutely other people, and we stay love extreme music. We stay love the feeling of black metal, but. Our brain are changed, you know, and I think that the progress of our music go with progress of us like a person, yeah, and I think today it's not that black metal because I'm the big fan of black metal, and I think the black metal is something like ideology. Yeah? We are not an ideology band, but we are the band which want to say something. Yeah? And of course, we stay right about extremal matters, like I don't know the shadow of okay, maybe not. I try other like dark side of humanity and other things.
So for you, are you like open-minded to go wherever it takes you? You are not kind of bordered only by black metal. You don't necessarily have to stay within the borders of metal music.
Yeah, my biggest inspiration in attitude to that black metal music is Tom Warrior, and Triptychon band, and probably the Blaze of Perdition is the band. Really inspired for Tom, who is probably the creator of black metal. Yeah, but he is. But if you know the interview with Tom, he not call our music black metal. This is the more opinion of journalists or scene. So. For me, it's a big inspiration, and probably my attitude for this music is similar.
All right. What about the lyrics then? What kind of lyrics? You mentioned that it started with something different, but are there any favorite topics you nowadays want to write about? Are there kind of ideas that define Blaze of Perdition?
Yes, we have from the third album when we changed many things because it's a link with big tragedy in our band, like an accident when our friend gone, and it was a really big moments for us, for changing. And last albums, the bigger inspiration for us on the last album is Carl Gustav Jung. And we try to write lyrics about Jung's shadow. So what do you mean? Maybe, I don't know, maybe Martin like telling about it something.
Lyric-wise, I think this is it's a difficult question for me, basically, because the person responsible for our lyrics is the vocalist who can't be with us because of the accident that just Luke has just mentioned. So in 2003, the band had a terrible car accident. The bass player died, and Paul, the vocalist, can't now tour with us because of the fact that he's disabled because of that accident. Yeah, so I think it has still a big influence on his lyrics. Plus, as you said.
Yeah, but I know that the Carl Gustav Jung is really important for Pavel, but for me also. Yeah, so the really important element in the lyrics is a shadow, like something like a dark side of humanity, dark side of our emotions, and I'm not a psychologist, yes, so it's really difficult for me, and I'm not an author of lyrics, so difficult to talking about it for me. But I know that this element is so really important in Blaze of Perdition, the Blaze of Perdition concept. For example, it will be you can look it on the or video clip, because the author of video clip and the director of it was I am. It was my idea, and I tried to show or lyrics concept on the movie, and we try to create good performance for these matters. No, probably it will be difficult to tell more about it, so probably I will end.
All right. Well, Poland has been a very big thing for past 20, 30 years in metal music. There are lots of, especially black metal, but also death metal bands coming from Poland. What do you think is the main driving element, the biggest thing that keeps Polish band coming up and making good music? Is there something special in your culture that kind of cultivates metal music?
Okay, maybe Martin.
So now I'm trying to find the links between the bands that I know that have it's quite just their own unique character and something in our country. Yeah? This is like I haven't thought about it before, but definitely there is something to it. On the other hand, just we have the whole spectrum of bands, yeah. So it's not that we have one particular sound.
Yeah, obviously not, because I mean, like, you have a great amount of different kind of bands.
Yeah, so we should look at it just at each and every case differently, from a different angle, I believe, and analyze it in some way.
But I mean, like, the thing is, like, back in the 80s, it's not like Polish was any kind of a, say, metal capital. I mean, it was more about Swedish, Norway, and stuff like that. Finland had lots of bands, but during the 90s, especially towards the late 90s and early 2000s, suddenly more and more Polish bands from different type of metal genres started to appear and becoming stronger. And now there are bands like which are really big, like Behemoth. But not only that, I mean, like, is there a kind of a renaissance of metal going on in Poland, or what is the story that metal has gotten so much more bigger than it was in the 90s?
It's like 90s or 80s. You just mean
80s or 90s?
Yeah.
Martin was a really young man in 90s.
So
I mean, like, what is your opinion about it?
My opinion about the fact that we are just strong, we have a strong band, strong scene and strong bands. Just as I said, it's a difficult question for now.
I like difficult questions.
But when we look, just maybe it's also about the political situation and the economic situation in our country, because just in the 90s,
I think
2000, just after the year 2000, it wasn't also so easy to have the band, to create something, to have the band, just from the financial point of view, it was more difficult than it was in different parts of the world. So that's why we developed some kind of, perseverance and strength to push just us with music, and that's why we had this strong determination to create it. Yeah, when something is easy to get, you can just lose the interest very quickly. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Probably it's a very wide topic, and there are much more to talk about it. On the other hand, these days we have, it's so easy. We have everything at hand. You can record your music at home. You can release. You can create a band in a matter of a few days. Record an album just out of nothing. There are such cases. So. I don't know.
I think that the reason is the domination of church in Poland too, because it's, the Polish is already a Catholic country, and I think that the metal music, especially the black metal music, is something like a type of rebellion. But sometimes situation is really, really strange, because of many NS black metal bands probably support the right part of politics, and it's in Poland the right side is really Catholic, so this is something like absurd, But generally, I think the domination of Christian Church in Poland is a really important reason to create this scene and determination for the metal scene in this country.
Yeah, that's what one of my point was, is that like in Western Europe, let's talk about like Great Britain or France, Germany, Spain. They are not Catholic countries, so they have been more like doing metal more openly. But if we go towards eastern parts of Europe, it seems like they are like more kind of old-fashioned and more restricted by the church in order to do this kind of extreme metal music where you have strong symbols, inverted crosses or devil horns or just whatever, 666 to kind of a mock Jesus and all that stuff. Do you think this has influence on how your Polish bands in general create music?
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the subgenre of metal music, because sometimes it's so direct, so just fuck Jesus and inverted crosses and all these symbols that are really straightforward, and it's with the bands through a whole of their career. But for some people it's just the beginnings. When you start being interested in metal music, you start playing metal music, but with time you just go more into personal direction, like us, that we describe just our own reality, just personal reality, not the whole situation in the country, or using these symbols. This is just This is
but when I talked about the Christian Church and rebellion, I talked about more 90s here, because today the situation is a little changed, but the metal music is really strong in Poland. And many bands today, for example, the Blaze of Perdition and bands like the Furia, Rauta, have the lyrics. I think have the lyrics more deep than the typical anti-Christianity or something like that. So, for example, in Poland is really popular the Furia, the band name Furia. Furia maybe is not very popular in Europe because it's the typical Polish band, but with typical Polish lyrics, and the influence are this band, for example, have influence from homelands like Silesia. The dark aspect of this place.
Place from where they live, basically. So this is really just local oriented. When it comes to the topics that they describe in your lyrics. But as you said, I believe that this Christianity and the church could be a trigger in the beginnings, but with time, this is sometimes the reason why it's attractive sometimes for young people, to go into this direction. But with time, it's just up to you if you want to continue this, and with your music, this strong rebellion against church, using all these symbols that we've mentioned, or you just try to give it more, personal, give some more personal aspects to it.
All right. What about doing gigs and tours? Which comes first, creating music on studio or going on tour or playing gigs? Which is more important for you guys?
I don't know. This is a difficult question because
I love it.
I know, but I don't have an opinion. For the albums are really important for us. The all albums, Blaze of Perdition albums, are something like a concept, and each album have the individual concept, and we are really care for everything, for all the details, and studio is really important, but gigs too, and we like it, and we want to play more and more. Sometimes it's a little tired, but when I stay on the stage, I forgot about uncomfortable, and this is the moment when the energy is really, really strong.
Yeah, to me it's a different kind of excitement when you create music. Just with Blaze of Perdition, we do it like more because we are from different parts of the country. It's a lot of just correspondence using the internet now, but it's just also really big excitement when you get some sketches of the songs, add something, some arrangements, and you see how it evolves. Yeah, this is like the way we worked with the last album that is going to be released soon. This is one kind of excitement, and a different kind of excitement is when you hit the stage and you see the response of the audience. You get this energy, the atmosphere. Yeah, something completely different, but this is part of the same basically. And as you said, you forget about all the just uncomfortable aspects of touring. Yeah, because when you play like 14 to 20 shows in a row, day by day, you are in a different country. Sometimes it's this is the highlight of the day, and you get energy from that moment. You can be really low for the just 70% of the day, then you play the show and you're alive again. Yeah, so it's just how it works. This is how it works on the tours.
All right, before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about your future recording, which is soon to be out. I got to hear the digital promo already, so I know a little bit what's going on, but what's anything you tell about this new material that is going to be out probably after this interview?
What we can talk about.
You probably heard the promo of the EP.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the EP just is coming out just before we are going to start the tour. We are going to tour with Bolzer next month throughout Europe, and then. So you heard one song from the whole album that is coming out in the beginning of the
2020.
Yeah, 2020. Plus probably the cover song.
Yeah.
So as you referred to the roots of our new phase of Blaze of Perdition, this newer phase, let's say, it's like the cover song of the Fields of the Nephilim.
So it's gonna be a different kind of Blaze of Perdition.
Yeah, so this is the cover song, and our own song, you can tell, it's probably the most approachable song from the whole album. So it can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, but
it can be a surprise also for people. Yeah.
But the cover probably many talk about our progress, because this the classic song of the Fields of the Nephilim band, Moonchild. And for me, the next album is the continuation of previous album. When we at the end for the Conscious Darkness, in this moment we're starting on the Harrowing of Earth. So I think it's more. Okay, I looking for the good word.
As you mentioned, the last song from Conscious Darkness is like, it can tell you a little bit more about the next step, our upcoming album, And you wanted to say that
I think it's the next step on our inspirations without the metal music,
Mm-hmm.
Then this step
outside,
It's
taking inspiration from many.
More brief step, in this way.
Just like more air in the music, like this kind of thing. Okay. So more space, more atmosphere, and just I believe rock. But rock has many
many aspects.
Many faces.
It can be so many different styles. Yeah. All right, guys. Now it's time to wrap. So, if you could just give one word to the wise, what would be your message to the audience? One tip for the life.
Just be honest with yourself, no matter if we talk about music or personal life. That
I absolutely agree.
We all agree about it. Be honest in life, to yourself, to others, and so forth. This is Rauta, and I want to thank you, Lucas. I want to thank you, Martin, for this time. Great Polish band. Go to stage, on tour, and listen to the albums. You can pretty much do the googling for yourself. This is Rauta from Steelchaos 2019. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you join me for the...